All right, everybody, good late afternoon, and we're doing this again. That's right, we're doing this again because things have changed, and things have changed pretty radically, and I don't want to leave things where I did on my last video concerning this topic because honestly, the news is good. We've gotten some new information about, you guessed it, Sam Darnold's contract, and the news is objectively good. There's really no way to spin this as anything bad. At the very least, it increases the flexibility afforded to this team going forward concerning Sam Darnold. So I'll talk this through. Brady Henderson had the scoop, and Over the Cap is already updated, so all we have to do is take a look at the numbers. This video is powered by BetUS TV. So, Brady Henderson had a tweet earlier today. I know this is now, we're almost 6 hours old, but I was doing the stream with the Hawk's Nest, couldn't make a video at that time, and I wanted to let that stuff kind of sit up for a little while. But clearing up some confusion with Sam Darnold's guarantees, I've obtained a copy of the actual contract and can confirm that his $15 million 2026 roster bonus is not fully guaranteed right now. It is guaranteed for injury and will vest into a full guarantee 5 days after the Super Bowl. That's a big deal. And he has a second follow-up tweet talking about why that makes a significant difference. Basically, it reverts the contract back to what we thought it was a couple of weeks ago. So that's nice. And if you want to see what that changes in the actual bottom line dollars, we can go over to Over the Cap. We can scroll down and we can see the numbers have changed. Hopefully for the last time, hopefully this is the end of the line on the Darnold contract and I don't have to make any more videos on it. I guess this thing was being kept in the facility from Mission Impossible 5 that they had to break into, and it just took Brady Henderson this long to finally get in there and get it. I don't know why this has been so complicated, but yeah, so let's start with the cap hits because those have not changed. The cap hits are what we've suspected them to be for a little while now. 13.4 million this year, 33.9 million next year, 44.9 million the following year, and then we have 2 void years of $6.4 million each year. So that's all as expected. What has changed is the dead money consideration in the event of an early release. I made a video, what was it, like a week ago, saying that the new number was 40 million dead next year if we release him. As it turns out, that number is $25.6 million. Now, according to Brady Henderson, that 15 million discrepancy will vest into a full guarantee 5 days after the Super Bowl. So we're going to have a very limited window of time to make a decision, but we'll have enough time to make the decision, right? And that's obviously something that would force our hand. That's $15 million is a big deal, especially when you get nothing for that 15 million if you don't make a decision one way or the other. It's not like you get him for another season for that 15 million. No, you would just have to cut him later and pay him the 15 million for nothing if your plan is to move off of him. So now moving off of Sam Darnold next offseason is possible. It's still not great. You're still talking about 25.6 million dead, so you're saving 8.3 million versus the actual cap hit, but at least it's something. Before I go any further, I want to tell you real quick about my friends over at BetUS TV. Sports are still going on. Baseball has started. Hockey playoffs are approaching. Basketball playoffs are approaching. There's still some stuff going on in the NFL offseason. And everything's going to be more fun with BetUS TV. So give them a chance, give them a look, go check them out, and continue to follow along with sports throughout the whole year. Sports never really stop. Most leagues never really stop when you think about it. And there's always fun things going on. BetUS TV, go give them a shot. All right. So 25.6 million dead is, I think we took about that much dead when we traded Russell Wilson. So it is something that you can do. And also remember, you can do a post-June 1st cut, and you can chop a big chunk of that dead cap hit off to 2027. So in the event of a post-June 1st cut, It looks like most of the money gets pushed out into these void years. So you actually spread the dead cap out really well if this is actually how it gets deployed. 6.4, 6.4, 6.4, 6.4. And like I always say, taking on little bits of dead cap hits here and there, especially way off into the future, is not a bad thing. That's actually probably the best way to go about things because the value of your dollar goes down every year because the cap goes up. So that's a possibility. A trade that doesn't really change anything cap wise, but we now have added flexibility. So if we decide to move off of Sam Darnold after one season, which would still be bad, it would still be a failure. And I'm not trying to suggest anything else. It is at least cost effective to do so. You are saving something. And the following year, the the dead money cap hit on releasing Darnold would be 19.2. So that would be very big savings, obviously, because the cap hit that year is 44.9. I seriously doubt that 44.9 cap hit will be allowed to stand no matter what. Either he's going to get extended or cut. But at that point, you're saving more than half of the cap hit. So it's very reasonable. It would be well within expectations if you don't want to keep Darnold long term to release him and eat less than 20 million dead. Again, I'm not 100% sure how these contracts work when it comes to void years. I've tried to look into it. I've had a little bit of difficulty pulling this one apart. The dead money might also include the void year cap hits. I'm not 100% sure on that. If so, then that's, all the better, actually. That's great. Because if it means those void year cap hits just get pushed into this dead cap amount, then the dead cap amount is even less severe than it looks, in a manner of speaking. Because the 12.8 million void you have over 2028 and 2029 is kind of getting lumped into this 25.6 million. And if that's true, then all the better. Again, I'm not 100% sure how that works. I've tried to understand it. That's one part of NFL contract stuff that I struggle with. So if anybody out there knows, feel free to hit me up with the information. But I believe that it does, this does kind of roll the void year hits into it, in which case it's even better. Now, I still wouldn't call this a 1-year deal in the sense that there is still a penalty if you move off of him after 1 year, but it's not nearly as bad as it looked like in the last video when we had those numbers. 13.4 plus 25.6, excuse me, is what, 25 plus 14, that's 39 million. I mean, if we have Sam Darnold on this team for 1 year and he's so bad we end up releasing him next offseason and he ends up costing this team in total $39 million, then that's obviously bad. That's obviously not something I would want to do, but at the very least, it would be better than 54, which is what we said it was last time based on those numbers. And if you keep him for 2 years and then you let him go, you've got 13 plus 33, so 47 basically, plus the 19. So then you're pushing more into like that 2-year, a little more than 60 million territory, like 60, 65, which, as long as he's decent, is actually not bad in the modern NFL. And especially because the cap hit gets spread out in effect because of the dead cap hit being in 2027. So it's a relatively normal NFL contract. It works. It's a lot better than I said it was in the last video. These new numbers are better. Hopefully they are the final ones. I really don't want to have to make another video about this again. I'm really hoping that we're good now. If I have to make another video about the Sam Darnold stuff, and believe me, if the contract changes, I will. I don't want to put out information that ends up proving incorrect and just leaving it dangling out there for people to believe that those numbers are the ones when it's actually other numbers. But I'm really hoping this is it. I'm really hoping we now have a full picture of Sam Darnold's contract, and we do have an escape route next year if things really don't work out well with him, unless he gets hurt. But it's still not comfortable. I hesitate to say this is just a 1-year deal, but by some definition, it kind of sort of is. All right. So, hey, I'm going to take that as good news. Again, the cap hits didn't change at all, but our escape plan in the event of disaster has. It's now actually present. It's at least there. Um, so hopefully, we don't end up having to use this. I'm going to say it again. There's still nothing fun about eating 25.6 million dead cap. So hopefully, Darnold's actually good. Hopefully, he sticks around for at least a couple years and is playing at a level where people are happy with him sticking around. So, that's the question that remains. All right, let me know what you guys think down below. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Definitely last video of the day. I'm still cranking really hard on the draft stuff, by the way, so I'm not going to be on Twitch for the next few nights, but we're getting close to the end here. So keep an eye out, and I'll be streaming back on Twitch before you know it. But yeah, see you guys later. Go Hawks.